Hey everybody, today I want to do a deck tech on probably the most popular deck in the Starter Deck Duel series, that is Vampiric Hunger. Now Starter Deck Duel, if you are new to the game, these are the 10 two-color decks that everyone has access to. If you've gone past the tutorial, you will have access to all 10 color paired decks. One of the most popular is Vampiric Hunger, because the main mechanic is life gain. Now, more specifically, the mechanic is what life gain enables for you, not life gain itself. That's a little bit of a trap that new players fall into. The idea of gaining life doesn't necessarily get you closer to winning the game, right? The difference between 20 life and 23 life may seem like a lot in the first 3 or 4 turns of the game, where attacks are generally 2 or 3 life points swing at a time. But as you move later into the game, turns 8, 9, and 10, those attacks are coming for 6 or 7 at a time, and so those 1 or 2 points of life gain that you're getting isn't going to carry you through the day. But what this deck is an ABC deck. That's a deck with 3 parts instead of 2. So something like the Blue White Flyers deck is a 2-part deck. All you need are lands and spells, because all their spells work together for a singular purpose, which is attacking in the air. Here, it's ABC. You need lands, you need enablers, and you need payoffs. We'll go over every card in the deck and talk about them in that framework. Enablers are cards that gain life, right? So this is Moment of Triumph. This is an instant spell. It costs white mana for a +2/+2, and you gain 2 life. If you're only talking about gaining life, it's not really that good. But when you pair it with the payoffs in this deck, like Ajani's Pridemate, which is a 2 mana 2/2. Whenever you gain a life, you put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Is gaining 2 life worth a card in Moment of Triumph? Probably not. But when you pair it with a card like this, where you're going to win combat, maybe with a different attacking creature, and you're also going to gain the 2 life, which triggers this to put a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay? So as we go through the deck, remember, we're looking for enablers and payoffs. Okay? We're going to start with the 1-drops. This is Healer's Hawk. This is an enabler. This is a 1/1 flying lifelink. It can gain life every turn that it attacks. We also have Hinterland Sanctifier, a 1 mana for a 1/2 ground creature. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. This is another enabler. This helps you gain life. We talked about the combat trick, which is +2/+2, and you gain 2 life. Again, you gain the life at instant speed. That can matter, so we can kind of do some tricky things with other payoffs, but this by itself is an enabler. Probably the most famous and one of the reasons you might want to play this deck is Ajani's Pridemate. 2 mana 2/2. That's base stats. When you gain life, you get a +1/+1 counter on this creature. So this creature is often attacking as a 4/4, a 5/5 for that 2 mana cost. It's a great creature, and like I said, it's one of the reasons to play the deck. Sunblessed Healer. This is an enabler. It's a 3/1 for 2 mana that has lifelink. If you kicked it, so you have to pay an additional 1 and a white. So this is 2 white, or 4 total mana. When this enters, you can put a non-land permanent card, mana value 2 or less, from your graveyard into the battlefield. So that's another one of your 2-drops. It's also Healer's Hawk sometimes at the middle part of the game. Most of the time, you will be playing this as a 3/1 lifelink, which is an enabler. Moment of Craving is 1 and a black for target creature gets -2/-2. you gain 2 life. Also very important, instant speed, right? So it's instant speed life gain, so those counters are going to come on when your opponent may not be ready for them. Another enabler, this is Sanguine Siphoner. 1 and a black for a 1/3. When this creature attacks, your opponent loses a life and you gain a life. So you can gain a life every time this creature attacks. It's a 1/3, so usually it only gets 1 or 2 attacks in before it gets outclassed, but you do gain that life. Vengeful Blood Witch is a 2 mana 1/1. When this creature or another creature you control dies, your opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. This is an enabler, but it's definitely more conditional. Cat Collector is our second payoff. This is a 3 mana 3/2 that creates a food when it enters. That's already good enough as a base 3 mana card. But whenever you gain life for the first time on your turn, create a 1/1 white cat creature token. So these tokens can block, these tokens can attack, these tokens can really shore up the ground, especially against other decks with a lot of creatures on the ground, like green-white specifically, and also black-red that I'm thinking about. This is another payoff. This is a go wide strategy rather than go tall. Tall meaning one creature is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Go wide meaning we'll get more creatures. So if we have 5 attackers and they have 3 blockers, you're guaranteed to have 2 creatures that are not blocked. Dazzling Angel is another enabler. It's a 3 mana 2/3. When a creature enters, you gain 1 life. It is a 2/3 flyer, so it does get a chance to get in there and attack a little bit. And another enabler, this is a 2/1 flyer for 3. When it enters, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Very solid addition to the deck. Tribute to Hunger. This card has a lot of variance between very good and not very good. It's an instant speed. Target opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. You gain life equal to that creature's toughness. So you always gain life, again at instant speed. But if they have a token, if they have a creature that is enchanted with a negative enchantment, they can kind of get rid of it. If they have sacrifice fodder, they can get rid of it. It's not good against green white and black red, but it is good against a lot of the other decks. Phyrexian Arena is just a really good card. It is neither a enabler or a payoff. I guess you could say that's a little bit of a payoff. At the beginning of your life, you draw at the beginning of your upkeep, you draw an extra card and you lose a life. So if you're gaining life, then you're offsetting the 1 life loss each turn that this card is out, and you're gaining 2 cards a turn. We could say it's a payoff. I don't know. It doesn't really fit that classification, but it's overall a great card. Another really great card, Vampire Nighthawk, a 2/3 flying death touch lifelink. This attacks, it's an amazing blocker. It is an enabler because when it attacks or blocks, you're going to get the 2 lifelink, so you're going to get those +1/+1 counters and other things that are going around. Mortify is your instant speed removal. This is simply destroy target creature or enchantment. 3 mana, really great card. Another payoff, Twin Blade Paladin. This is 4 mana for a 3/3. When you gain a life, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, just like Anjani's Pridemade. As long as you have 25 or more life, this creature has double strike. Usually, if you have 25 or more life, you're doing really well in the game, and this card helps shut the game down really quickly. Another solid card, but not necessarily fitting great into the strategy, is Angelic Destiny. This is 2 white for an aura, which goes on one of your creatures. The creature gets +4/+4, flying and first strike, and it's an angel. When the creature dies, return this card to your hand. So, not when the creature leaves the battlefield. If it gets exiled, you will lose this card. if the creature is no longer there when this card resolves, to go put this card on a creature, this card will go to the graveyard. So it doesn't always go back into your hand, but in normal course of the game, it would. And it gives the jump ability. Jump is to give a creature with flying that doesn't have flying. And First Strike makes it really good attacking and blocking. Best case scenario is you put this on something like Healer's Hawk that has lifelink, and now you have a big lifelinking first striking creature that can get in there every turn. Alenda, Saint of Dusk, is an amazing card, one of the best cards in the deck. 4 mana for a 4/4 lifelink, hexproof from instants, so it can't be targeted by instant speed removal. As long as your life total is greater than your starting life total, it gets +1 and has menace, so it becomes a 5/5 menace. And it gets an additional +5 if your life total is 10 more than your starting life total. So if you're at 30 life, then this is a 10/10 menace creature that still has lifelink and hexproof from instants. The last card and the last payoff is Fiendish Panda. This is 4 mana. It needs white and black. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. You see the theme that's going on here. When this dies, return another non-bear creature card with converted mana cost less than this creature's power from the graveyard to the battlefield. So it already starts at 3, so it can get any 1, 2, or 3 drop. And with the +1/+1 counters on there, it can go ahead and get some of the 4 drops. But again, you don't need it to get much more because you don't have much more in the deck. When we talk about lands, the key here is that you have 4 lands that gain 1 life when they enter the battlefield. Now, they enter the battlefield tapped. In fact, you have a full 9 lands that enter tapped. You have 8 untapped plains and 7 untapped swamps. You have 1 Temple of Silence that enters and gives you a Scribe 1. You have 4 Guild Gates that just enter tapped. But Scoured Barrens is the card that makes the deck a little bit better because you can get some life gain on your land itself. So this taps for white or black, it comes in tapped, but you do gain that life. So this itself is an enabler. And having an enabler on the land is what really pushes the power of this deck. Like I said, this deck is a popular choice. I think it may be popular for the wrong reason. If it's popular just because you want to gain life, you want to get to 24, 25, 27 life, whatever it is, that's not the reason you really want to be playing this deck. You want to be playing this deck because you want to turn Anjani's Primate into a 6/6 and attack on turn 4, right? You wanna really go crazy with Twin Blade Paladin, make this a 4/4, then put Angelic Destiny on top of it, make it an 8/8 with flying, have double strike and hit him for 16 out of the blue. It is a really good deck for new players, but we just want to make sure that life gain is leading to something other than life gain for its sake. I'm going to submit this deck and look to play a couple of games to see how this deck fares in the wild. And I hope you come along and try it yourself because it is a really fun deck. So here we go with the first game. And 2 lands. I would love to really see 3 lands, to be perfectly honest, but we are going to keep. We'll start with the tap land. Even though this is the one that gains a life, we do want the option of playing both white and black since we don't have planes. We'll play Anjani's Primate. looking to play Inspiring Overseer next turn if we draw an untapped source. And we do. We will make this a 3/3 and attack. Okay. Green-white, they can have a lot of token generation. Instead of 2 mana, 2/2. Okay. We have a couple of choices here. We could mortify the 2/2 and attack with everyone. We could jump something. I would like to get a few more counters going before we go ahead and do that. I don't mind trading off here. But what I think we'll do is play a Dazzling Angel and Healer's Hawk. Attack with both. See what he wants to do. Does he want to trade here? We certainly would do the trade. I don't know if he would. He may be trying to get a third creature so that he would get the +1/+1 and the 1 life on this guy. I don't think that's the reason why you don't want to trade. Eventually this Angelic Destiny is going to kind of hit him out of nowhere. So I think he wanted to have made that trade, but we'll see what he does. Okay, he wanted the 2 creatures to make sure he had +1/+1 counters. Okay, makes sense. He's going to have to decide if he really wants to attack here, though. If he doesn't, it looks like it's a Mortify to the flyer. And he will attack. Okay, little strange there, but we could go Cat Collector, get another counter, attack with the flyers, and get a cat token to chunk block. I think we attack with everyone. If he blocks, even if he double blocks, it will be a chump block there. So he's going to have a hard time this turn. It looks like we're going to Angelic Destiny something. And we go ahead and get that victory. So really the key there were the +1/+1 counters, not the life gain. Again, we ended the game at 22. It doesn't matter how much life you have at the end of the game. It's really how much life your opponent has. So ending at 22 isn't specifically better than ending at 20, but those +1/+1 counters enabled our attacks, and it made sure that he couldn't double block against us. Okay? So we talked about each individual cards, the enablers, and the payoffs. Obviously the payoffs more important because that's where you're actually going to get most of the value. Enablers, not as much. So here you go. Here's a great hand as an example of enablers with no payoffs. No payoffs ready to go. We could call this a payoff, which is you gain an extra card, but you lose 1 life. If you are gaining a life because of Sanguine Siphoner, even if you get 1 hit from Sunblessed Healer and you gain 3 life, that's 3 cards. So this is something that we're going to keep. We will play a tap land first, but we don't necessarily have to play Skyward Barrens just in case something happens later. We'll start there. We'll get a 2-drop down depending on what they do. If we think we can get more than 1 hit in with the 3/1 lifelink, we will. But it doesn't look like we would be able to. Here it looks like, okay, Moment of Craving, we could go ahead and deny him some mana, but I think we're going to want to just get a creature out first and see what we can do, right? We can attack next turn. If he tries to double block, we can get a 2-for-1 off Moment of Craving. He's going to have access to 4 mana. Yep. So he will attack for 3, and we're not going to be able to do anything about that. He's going to attack for 4 next turn, and we don't really have lifelink on the board, so if we don't get attacks in, this is going to go bad pretty quickly. We can hold this up next turn to do it instant speed, but if we do it right now, we can gain a life back. I don't think there's any reason we're going to hold back here. So I think we do it right now. Moment of Craving. Preserve the life total if we do have Phyrexian Arena. And see where this gets us. Next turn, we could kind of do anything. A 4-3 reach. So I think we're going to do Temple of Triumph and Vampire Nighthawk. I don't need another tap land. He's only got 2 cards in hand. We're going to see if he wants to trade off. If he plays another 4-power creature first main, okay, that's going to draw him a card. Okay. Again, we can out card draw if we can get this out in time. Okay. This can be a big creature later. Do we trade off? Yeah, I think we do. What do we have? Nothing there. Okay. So, I think we go Phyrexian Arena to try and out-long game him, and the 3-1 with lifelink. The 3-1 can trade off against this 4-3. Again, they do have trample, so we'll take some damage. He's probably going to activate this to become a 3-3 to draw a card. He might do that and only attack with the 3-3. If he does, we still block. This is going to get a counter in return. Yep. Yeah, we'll go ahead and block there. We'll draw an extra card and lose a life. Moment of Hunger is not great. He'll just get rid of Llanowar Elf. Again, a lot of enablers, no payoffs. The reason I'm playing this is to make sure that this deck is functioning the way that we want it to. I'm sorry, this should have been played first, and we could have gained another life. We are still at 20, right? And so he's gonna have to make decisions. We're gonna pretend that he has no tricks in his hand, right? Right now he has no cards, but he always can get a card. If he gets something like a combat trick, it's going to be a problem. Do we double, triple block? No, not this turn. If we're going to make these blocks, we'll make these blocks next turn. We can only do 1, but we can gain the life and make the 1-1. Okay. The first payoff we have, we already made the 1-1. So it's each of our turns. So we can't do this instant speed. But we will be able to crack this food and gain 3 life. Okay. This is basically draw a card, because he can look off the top of his deck, do anything that he wants there. So we are going to have to multi-block here. So we could take 5, block, 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 and he can go ahead and decide which one he wants to get rid of. And if he only gets rid of a Sanctifier, that's not a bad choice for us. Actually, we could do it with the token, right? So we can block here, and he can pick 1. He'll probably pick a Siphoner. He takes 5, and he's going to lose that. We'll gain a life and lose life. Okay. We're going to crack this food now, because hopefully, with drawing 2 cards, we're going to have more to do with our mana. Okay. Fiendish Panda, this comes right back to the battlefield, so I think we're going to go there. If we do, we only have 2 mana, so it's either both of these, or Fiendish Panda by itself. It's a tough choice. I think we start with drawing the card. We gain a few life, we make a token, we draw a card. We were looking for a land there, and we are in no position to attack. Again, life gain, we are up to 15. We are drawing 2 cards a turn. We are going to outlast him if we get enough turns. Every time he draws a card, he's looking at a new card on the top of the deck. This kind of goes crazy there. But we're in better shape than we were 2 turns ago. That may make a little bit of a difference, but not too much. Could use a land. There's a land. There's 2 lands. So we go Fiendish Panda. Okay. Tribute to Hunger now. He is going to get rid of this Llanowar Elf. So it's only going to be get rid of 1 and get a 1/1. Can't attack with a 2/1 because he has a 4/3 reach. Don't forget this reach symbol here. Otherwise you'll be throwing away attackers. So we are not going to attack. We'll try to set up for some kind of attack next turn. We don't want to just sit here too long. That's not going to be good for us because he can draw multiple cards a turn. So we are going to want to make sure that we're acting. Yeah, this is just starting to go off crazy. Does he attack you? When this attacks another creature gets +X/+X. Yeah, I mean, we're going to use the 3 mana because why not? This combat trick. Again, we'll get counters, but again, the counters aren't too bad because we're just going to end up getting like a 2-drop back, or maybe a 3-drop back. We could shrink this and kill it with that, but it's not going to do too much. We're waiting for him to get a little impatient and like Alpha Strike when we have 2... I would like to say tricks in our hand, but this Tribute to Hunger is not going to be that much of a trick. He should be patient, but if he's not... Okay, I mean, we're going to use the Tribute to Hunger anyway. Drawing 2 cards a turn, hopefully we're getting 2 action cards, and we can really use that a little bit more. Okay, when you kick this, we can go ahead and put a 2-drop onto the battlefield. We'll take Johnny's Pride Maid. That's what we'll do. So we'll have to kick this. And we'll take the Pride Maid. A lot of counters, a lot of life, no real way to make an impact. If we can kill this reach creature and then we can attack with the flyers, we could get Angelic Destiny and jump one of our guys. But other than that, we're not really going to be in a position to attack right here. We're hoping he hits a couple of lands in a row, because otherwise he's going to go creature, creature, creature. And, you know, these kind of concessions happen. He was not ready for this long attrition game. Maybe he did draw a couple of lands, and that got him a little bit frustrated. He certainly wasn't in a bad spot at that point of the game. But let's check out this next game, and we're looking for something that's closer to what our deck would normally be able to do in a normal game. The previous game just went really long. We did have a keepable hand of enablers without the payoffs, and that is something in this kind of ABC kind of deck where you need the 2 parts plus the land. Here's lands, although they do come in tapped. Here's enablers, and we do have payoffs. So this is a good hand. A untapped land would be helpful. We'll start always with the Guild Gate, because that does not give us land, whereas Scoured Barrens, if you play after Pride Made, you can go ahead and get your land that way. Go Llanowar Elf. Okay, so we are going to have to just play the land anyway. This Rabbit means that this will come out as a 3/3, which is really good to have. Or untapped land, we could grab a 3/2 and the 1/1. Of course, he could play a 3-drop on this turn also, because he has the acceleration. That 2/2 is not too scary yet, but it will grow over time once you have a creature with 4 power or more. Okay. So, I wish we did have the land here, but I do think that we start our Pride Mate and start growing it. If he hits a land drop, he has 5 mana available, so if he has a big creature in his hand, he will play it this turn to get a +1/+1 counter on the Horn Beetle. Yep. That's yeah. Surprising he didn't attack. I will trade for the Animist, but not for the Horn Beetle itself. Here we can make the 1/1 token immediately and get the +1/+1 counter on this. I think that's what we want to do. Okay. We don't want to hold off forever. I do kind of want to get this flyer out just so that I can start attacking a little bit. I don't want to get into a stalemate situation. This 4/4, he's going to get a +1/+1 counter. He's going to be able to give something XX if he attacks, right? And if he attacks, he knows I'm going to eat this creature. So he's in a stalemate, which is not where we want to be. Yeah, I'll take this. I'm going to take the damage from... Oh, he's going to put the +1/+1 counters there? No. No. Okay. Does he have a giant growth in his hand? Is that what he's representing? You were supposed to do that later. Because now he's going to lose 2 creatures to attack for 9. Which is fine, but losing 2 creatures is not. And, you know, Mortify would take care of this creature. This is an attack for 10. Or do we develop the board? Mortify for this. We don't make a token. No, we... Because we're going to attack with the Pride Mate anyway. So, we draw a card. We look to hit another land. We get the +1/+1 counters going. We attack for 8. We could attack here. Actually, we do. We attack here, offer the trade. If he takes it, we attack him for 8, and now we have the flyer kind of unlocked. Okay. He can attack for 5, that's fine. Okay. Land there. I mean, we can kill the Llanowar Elf. He has 1 card in hand. We're attacking for 4, 7, 15, 16. We could do attack with everybody with this. This is instant speed in case he has a trick. So we'll attack first. Cat Collector is not legendary. So it's probably safest to play Cat Collector, get a token, get the +1/+1 counters. You know how it goes. This is what you're here for. All these triggers piling up on top of each other. This is why in the deck tech I'm talking about not being here for just the life gain. You're really here for what life gain can enable. It doesn't help us that we won with 16 life. It helps us that we were able to win because the life gain triggered our creatures multiple times, made multiple tokens, made +1/+1 counters. That's what the life gain did for us. I hope I make that point really clear because a lot of new players just see the life gain, see that it's 20-0, so the more that you get, the better. And it is better. It's only marginally better, and the real strength of the deck is the +1/+1 counters, the extra tokens, those type of things. This is 3 lands. We have some payoffs and we have some enablers, so we are good to go. A lot of 3-drops here, but I think it is a keep anyway. If Sunblessed Healer ever gets in for free, like gets a free hit in, it is amazing value for 2 mana. Usually it dies on the first hit, but you know, we take what we can get. Whatever 2-drop they play, how do they not trade off? Especially since Cat Collector has to be on the board in order to gain the token. And a Phyrexian Arena on turn 3 is just nasty because it's going to take so long for Arena to end up impacting our life total in a negative way. We're just going to be drawing 2 cards every single turn. We'll see what he plays and make a decision there, but we're almost guaranteed to attack. The downside with Arena is if you play an attack and they block, yeah, we'll have time for Arena later. We're gonna go Cat Collector, attack, make the first token right away so it can attack on the second turn. And they're staring down 7 power on turn 4, right? With no blockers on the battlefield right now. If they play a small blocker, we could kill it. If they play a large blocker, we could shrink it. If they don't have any blocker, then this game is just not going to be around for too long. Yep. I don't think I need it. It's a lot expensive. So, we kill this, attack for 7, make another token. We play a flyer. Play a flyer, attack. We make a token anyway because he trades. He trades here. You know what? I'll trade next time too. If he plays a blocker, if he just goes untap land like 4/4, we could get a little punished because we would have to stop attacking. So I guess that's a consideration for playing one of the flyers. Okay, first part of that came true. I am glad the second part did not. If he plays another 2/2, then we attack with everything. He blocks, takes 2, and then we kind of rebuild the board with some of these flyers. He's going to want to get this off the battlefield as soon as possible. Okay. Now he can sacrifice it right now. If he knows he's going to trade for it anyway, sacrificing it means that I don't gain the 3 life. I think he's considering. Yeah, I think we jam in there. He can block and then sacrifice it, if that's what he's willing to do. We are going to play Sanctifier into one of the 3 drops. Not 100% sure which one. I guess it depends how many creatures we have left. He wants to block one of the cat tokens and then sacrifice to kill the 3/1. This way he only takes 1 damage. So this way he's going to take an extra damage, which is 5. I think I just want to get Vampire Nighthawk in line. Next turn I can play, if I get a land, I can play a 3-drop and the life. Yep. Yeah, if he has a removal spell, he's going to want to use it. He's not going to want to have to trade, but he'd be willing to trade. Let me know in the comments below what you would have done with that moment of craving. Obviously, I wish I had it in my hand right now, but that was not something I was thinking about then. I mean, I think we attack with the Nighthawk and see what he's going to do. He's aggressive. His cards are aggressive, but he had a 2/2 haste and he didn't attack. We're at 29. We could just drop this arena and then, you know, he's going to have to turn his dial up on the aggression. Otherwise, we are going to take over. He's got 3 cards. We got 3 cards. This isn't the way that I wanted the game to have played out. He shoots it for 2 mana. He shoots this. And then it still doesn't trade. We're in the same position as we were last turn. He had 1 blocker, but now we're going to be drawing 2 cards a turn. So maybe getting this out earlier was important. Yeah, at any time we can stop attacking and be ready to block for this. So I don't know what he's thinking. I assume it's his only play, right? So it's what he would have to do. We're fine to trade off tokens here. Drawing 2 cards a turn. Yep. We'll go draw another card and gain the life. Put another flyer on. He's gonna have to not attack, right? There's very little that he's going to be able to do here. He uses removal on the Nighthawk. Just attacking 2 per turn in the air. Like, we're going to win this race. Now, he doesn't know we have Angelic Destiny, but he's got to figure that we would win this race against the Tolarian Terror anyway. Okay. Opt. He's a little constrained on blue mana, so maybe he was looking for... Yeah, he was going to look for an untapped land, that's for sure. Okay. 3 mana up, so we're not going to do anything that extends too far. I think we just play a flyer and play the Blood Witch, attack in. What's he going to do? Use a removal spell? That's fine. He's got 3 flyers with 2 power, and if he kills them all right now, unless it's exile, he's going to die to the triggers. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Yep, good game, but the flyers are going to get there. Yep, and we'll just concede here. Just go to all attackers. And get the satisfying victory animation. That game was kind of a prolonged idea of what the deck can do. Let's look for something a little bit on the shorter side. This deck does have a little bit of an issue with closing out games. Games where you know you're ahead and you know you're going to win, but you don't necessarily have the win in hand. These are 2-drops, enablers all over the place with 1 payoff at 4. We will be looking to draw some lands and maybe an Andromed's Pridemate. I like to get the Siphon on the battlefield now. It's going to stop this attack this turn unless he's going to use a trick. No. Okay. Tap lands, that's fine. He's going to attack for 2. These Tribute to Hungers are not going to be super effective. Like, it's just going to get a helpful hunter off the battlefield after he's already drawn a card. We'll block. If he's using a pump spell, no. I mean, let's see how the game plays out, but if you're using a pump spell for your 1-drop to trade with a 2-drop, things are probably not going your way. Tribute to Hunger, something's going to die next turn, so we will be gaining life, and this will be going up to a 4-drop. He's going to wish he had that Giant Growth back later. We could have the Fight spell. The +1/+1 and fight. Okay. He doesn't. This is a really good card too. What's he going to do when this attacks? Slower turn. If we draw an untapped land, he's going to sacrifice 2 creatures. We're going to get 2 triggers on the Paladin. We're going to gain a little bit of life, but not much. It's going to be 1 at a time there. He's definitely attacking here. If he has a pump spell, does he use it just on the 1 attack? Very aggressive, but I understand it. Do we want to use this right now? Well, we want to attack, and we want to make sure that we can attack multiple times. If we use it, he sacks and sacks, and then we attack with the 4/4. Looking for that surveil, so I guess he's looking for something there. But this is gonna enable an attack for 10. 4 of which are lifelink, which will offset the 4 that he's attacking for. And of course, put another +1/+1 counter. Yep, that was a good play on his part. I guess that sacking of the surveil guy, if that's the land that he drew off that surveil, then it was really good for him. Now, without lifelink, do we attack? I think the answer is yes, because if not, what else are we going to do? He plays a creature. This is a 2/2. We can double block, and he can lose one of them. We do need something here. Oh wow. Okay. Aggressive with the combat tricks, but you know what? If you have a hand and you drew 4 cards, so you had a total of like 11 cards. If you had 3 combat tricks, what could you do other than be aggressive, right? And so, while I think the first Giant Growth was too aggressive, I do understand the rest of the predicament that he's in, right? What's he going to do? Just sit there? He's going to have to attack, so good job for him reading that. This is really kind of heavy, and I don't love it. Temple of Silence has the scry, so we are going to have to get rid of anything that costs 3 or 4. Keep the land. I think we want to take the chance to get a 2-drop out. Certainly would like to hit one of these 4s, but we're going to have to be careful when we do, because we don't want the creature to be gone and then have the effect fizzle. We will attack. I assume he won't block, but if he does, we will Moment of Triumph. We're going to need the lands to show up. If we don't get the lands, we're going to play Arena and then lose a life every turn. This could be important if he comes out really aggressive here and hit something big, but hopefully that doesn't happen. Well, Shredder Course. He's going to keep the card, but the +1/+0 is after he has attacked. Yeah, we will take this opportunity to drop Arena. We really do need this land. One land gives us Panda. A couple of lands give us Destiny with Moment of Triumph as a backup. Most of his removal is going to be in red, so it'll be burn, so he'll burn exactly 3 when we try to put Destiny on, and if we have an open mana, then we can kind of save our creature should he have those removal spells. Really good card there. I would love him to tap out. Okay. No land. Okay. What's the play? Healer's Hawk is not going to be particularly good here. We attack. If he's going to use the trick, I don't mind. Use it now. I think he's just going to block. Moment of Triumph doesn't win us that combat. Yep. Play Nighthawk and pass. If he attacks with everyone, we do kill the Enigma Drake. Yep. Attacks for 5. There's another one. Arena, but we did gain the land that we were looking for. We could Fiendish Panda, or do we have the Healer's Hawk? Let's think about this, because Healer's Hawk lets us Angelic Destiny. Yeah, I don't love it, but if we don't do it this way, I don't know if Panda by itself is going to win the game. They just ignore it and attack through. If they sniff this out, we're in a lot of trouble. It really depends on their hand. Do they have the removal spells? If they do, there's no reason they don't kill the Healer's Hawk. But if we get an untapped land, specifically a Plains, we have a little bit more certainty. But if they attack with everything and just go creature, no, they're gonna kill something. Yep. Yeah, we're on Angelic Destiny or lose. So, if you have a removal spell, you win the game. You don't. Okay. If they don't have a way to remove it this turn, First Strike plus some kind of pump spell could be really, really good. I don't think they're going to attack us for 12 here. Yeah. Okay. Maybe they are. One more spell does it. 11. Yep. And it wouldn't matter. Say, yep. Okay. Let's hop into one more. Again, a lot of these games have been longer than this deck is usually used to playing. This is not a deck I want to go to turn 10 with. This looks like a really good hand. Again, a lot of 3s though. Actually, after I just said that, a lot of 3s and nothing to do before then. So I will revise that statement. There's a lot of good to this hand, but not. I don't think it's a great hand. If this was a Healer's Hawk, right, and we can start attacking right away. To do nothing on turn 2, I think we have to go Dazzling Angel on 3 and Cat Collector on 4. Yeah, we're gonna be out of the game before we get a chance. And if that happens, that is on our keep. That's not on the opponent at all. That's on us being a little too aggressive. Maybe he only has creatures and no removal spell. Yep. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to start trading things off, and that's not where we want to be. Cat Collector gains us 2 life and makes 2 bodies, but we're gonna have to trade off, right? Like, we're not gonna be able to just hold these up forever. If he attacks with everyone, you can see this is 8 by itself, right? So if we eat, he's gonna make it easier for us. So, yeah, I mean, as long as we're not dead. We're gonna need untapped lands here, and then another untapped land again. Okay, I mean, that's the first step. What do we want to do? Vampire Nighthawk. Like, does whatever we get, do they have to trade off? Yeah, right? So, Vampire Nighthawk. We just want to take the card down. No. No. Wait, we might not have to, right? Because if we play 2 creatures, we're going to be at 4 life. And then the Vampire Nighthawk, it can trade with something, and yeah, I want the Overseer to block there. Yeah, this will be an additional life point. Again, we need an untapped land next turn also. So we're being pretty, we're asking a lot of this mana base, right? Something's going to gain menace, which, you know, something was going to be unblocked anyway, so that is the thing that's unblocked. But it means something else gets chump blocked. Did the match well. Okay, we were probably not winning that one anyway. Did you have fun in the match? Yeah, I had fun in the match. There was nothing wrong specifically with the match there.